music, and you hear Finley just strunk and like stops mid chord, and
I have more than 10 times your amount.
Shit.
Yep.
This is the epitome of handling an animal. You're free falling.
And she turns around and just like pulls the arrow and just like shoots it, and she goes to try to go right beneath one of the wings.
Okay.
Part of the wings and try to glide it into the ground.
Yes.
Okay, so the manticore.
Hello there, everyone's favourite halfling bard, Finley Shenanigan here. Being the soulful adventurer that I am, and known for telling a tale or two, pull up a stool to grab a pint as I tell you a story about my favourite hero, me. In my years of travelling, I met people of all walks and cultures. Although the horsemen coming didn't affect me directly, I saw the toll they left behind. The destruction and devastation these villainous beings left in their wake sparked something within me. How was I, Finley Shenanigan, to become the greatest, most legendary bard that Candoria had ever seen, if no one was around to behold my glory? More importantly, where is Alundra? When will she be back? And what will she be wearing? Hopefully something revealing. Anywho, setting on my journey, I shared my glamour with those who had never witnessed such pure, unadulterated excellence before. My legacy was to replace their despair and unite the people for the war yet to come. In the end of the day, everyone can be a hero. Everyone has a little adventure inside of them. And if you don't, would you like one?
Ah, salutations. I am Rin Anoran, historian of Candoria, renowned problem solver, an elf of esteemed conscience. When I became of age, I set out as a Rena and departed from my home of Othalos to the city of Egoras to study the arcane arts. With some difficulties, I was able to teach myself while working as a scribe in the library of Alashar. There, I produced a masterpiece of Candoria's history and its secrets, my manifesto, the true record of our world. However, even my aspirations dwindled when Alundra's guidance vanished, followed by the devastation from the horseman's wake. Despite all the wounds we have suffered, I shall never let our existence be forgotten, for I believe our best hope lies with our knowledge and story made eternal.
My name is Kurt Glaskin, and I have lost everything that I've loved in this world. My daughters, my wife, my friends, all of them dead to the horsemen. And now I have a chance to redeem myself, to protect my friends, to lead humanity into a new age of light and hope. Alundra abandoned us, the goddesses abandoned us, and left us with these monsters. And I want to take everything from them that they've taken from us. I live in a world of blood and hatred and violence, and so I will become that violence. I will be that hatred, and I will be exactly what we need, a sword against the darkness.
My name is Urgra Dropper, and I am a dependable ambassador. I was the only half-breed in my mother's tribe of orcs where the threat of being eaten constantly hung over my head. And yet, those were some of the happiest times of my life compared to my time with the Revenant. I was 12 when I first picked up a bow and started hunting, and I quickly found that people make the most interesting prey and often deserve an arrow in the head far more than most monsters. Magic and even the Three Sisters were always something weird and sinister to me. That is, until by chance I crossed paths with the High Priestess Alundra, who showed me that magic, like everything else, can be used for good or for evil. And that's what I'll keep on repeating to myself every time one of those stuck-up magical morons say something that makes me want to cut out their tongues.
The following program features adults using adult language. You have been warned.
Not yet.
All right, we are back. I wish you guys could hear what we talk about when we're on break. It's pretty good stuff. All right, so you guys were heading back to Red Dragon Inn, and on the way, the route, because you guys went a couple different directions, but you are passing by a little shop, and on it, there's a sign that says Tinkerer's Corner.
Cool. You recognize that name?
You don't recognize the name, but you hear, Finley, you hear a familiar whistling sound.
I'll look at the rest of the group. Be like, hey, didn't go and say, didn't go and say the pub was here? I don't know, let's just like throw it into the building.
Okay. So as you burst through the door, you startle the shit out of a very familiar face. You see a really scrawny guy turn around with a beard almost to the floor. He'll look around and he'll go, Finley!
Hey, where's Butterbean Balls? Butters, where's he at?
And you'll see Butterbutt's face just kind of poke right outside of the beard and just
Little bird.
And I will run in and I will give Puck a hug because it's been a while. I like Puck.
Yeah, you guys will, well, you're both small, but you'll just scoop each other up and he'll kind of like frantically, oh, I have your package for you, and he'll kind of,
oh, right. Oh, you do? Oh, that's
around
fantastic.
and he'll open his chest and he'll hold out a wrapped up package. It's kind of wrapped in like a burlap sack, and it's got some ties around it. I have your order for you.
That's fucking wonderful. Do you mind? Is everyone else following us in here? Or is it just me and Puck in here?
At the
Oh,
moment,
I'll
it's
follow
just-
you to make sure
okay.
you don't kill something.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so you guys can go in if you like.
Wow.
And Puck will look up and, oh, everybody is here. Welcome.
We're all here.
Welcome.
Fantastic.
Come in. And he'll turn and he'll kind of brush some paperwork on his desk, and he'll pull this lever, and you'll see some of these little folding chairs kind of pop out from the wall and just kind of deploy out. Take a seat. Come in.
Right. Yeah. This is perfect. Everyone, we're all here. Fantastic. Do you mind if can I just open all this stuff right here?
Yes, please. Yes.
All right. Gentlemen, and lady, come in. This is going to wow and astound you all at one time. It's a astounding.
And as you're talking to them, his hand just kind of goes over and starts pulling the string to open it up. Like he can't wait for you. He's trying to kind of sneak it. Like he's starting to prematurely open it for you. Yeah, as you're talking to everybody.
Premature opening.
Yeah.
So in the life. Yeah. So what do we see first, DM? What's the first thing?
Do you remember what we had talked about before?
Is there a letter first?
The letter is with it, but you're getting it in person, so like
Right.
you can always read it later or read it now, whatever. And yeah, there's going to be some wrapped up items inside of there.
Right. Can I tell by how big or small they are who goes to what?
For the most part, yeah.
All right. Well, first and foremost here, Puck took the pleasure of making some specialty items for my friends. And actually, Kurtz, you already have yours, if I'm not mistaken. And you remember your little Stampy Doo girl?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's a Puck specialty that he made that blickety-split right before we left Brandy Lac just for you. So,
Mm-hmm.
and oh, hey, you should show him how it works.
Yeah. Look for. I'm sure there's a thing of ink somewhere.
Sure, why not? It's Puck's place. Yeah, there's everything. Yeah.
Stamp it in it and then stamp her in with it.
Like right now, you're gonna try to do that?
Yeah.
And he'll kind of hunch
Oh no, I'm
over.
backing away from that.
He's trying to read it, and you can see he pulls down some goggles and kind of flicks some different lenses, and he gets in there. Oh, that looks fantastic!
Doesn't it, though? It looks better in blood.
I'm glad you enjoy it. Just let me know if you need any others.
I probably will.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that he was going to use it for more like blood, but it still works. It's the principle of the matter. Anyway, so I pick up the next one that's kind of like I guess a little bit smaller, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and I will hand it to Rin, who just got stamped. Rin, Rin, this is for you.
Thank you. Bryn's cleaning off with prestidigitation to get rid of the mark. What is this?
So it's a little box about this big, and it's got hinges on it, and you can, after you kind of untie it, you can open it up.
Well, you have to open it up, Rin. That's the whole point of a present, man. Have you ever gotten a present before? You open.
Yes, I usually know what's coming, so I'll slowly open the lid.
Okay, so you pull it back, and you can see some inscriptions on the top lid, but you see a quill laying inside the package.
Oh, this is very nice, Finley.
Right. And look over at Puck. I was like, does it do the higgly diggly things that I asked for on it?
You can see him getting really, really excited, and he'll kind of pull Butterbutt out of his beard and put it on his shoulder and say, Tell him!
Higgly diggly?
What does Butterbutt say?
No. He was talking to you to tell Rin.
Oh. I was like, I can't see anyone. I'm trying to imagine.
No. Oh, yeah, because you don't have your cat. Yeah. So,
right.
yeah, he's telling you to tell Rin what it does.
Oh, right. Well, hold on. I'll pull out some of my own personal parchment and put it down.
Oh, don't do that. So he'll kind of nestle in close to Rin, and he'll kind of lean over, and he'll indicate for you to read the inscription, but he'll kind of read it, explain it to you. So this quill has magical properties, and it will animate any book or scroll that you inscribe on it, and it will bond with the thing that you write on it, and it will give it a semi-sentience.
Boy, that sounds super dangerous.
That is a very complex. How can you do this, Puck?
Oh, I didn't do it, but I had it made.
Who did?
So the warning, though, is that the first thing that you write in, it will bond with, and it will not. The magic will not be able to bond with anything else. The first thing it writes on. So don't lick the tip. Don't scribble on anything that you don't mean to, and it will grant a minor sentience to the first thing it scribes on.
Always words to live by. Don't lick the tip right away. Just give it a moment, figure out exactly where you want to stick it, and then by all means, pick what you want to do there.
Well, all right. For the forewarning, I will certainly not. I will resist that temptation to dab it on my tongue.
Oh, that's good. I had to fight the urge several times myself.
Yes. Thank you. I'll remember these words, and I'll activate them accordingly. Thank you.
I love the fact that Puck. I love the fact that your artifacts here have little disclaimer warnings on them.
Sound effects may include.
It's on the ribbon that you pulled. It said it. You heard it.
If you have an erection that lasts more than 4 hours, please consult your local cleric.
all from licking the tip. Who knew? All right.
Just the tip, yeah.
How many more things are in here? I think just one, right?
No, there's two. So there is a special bag of like herbs for your pipe.
Right. The other one. I'll take the bigger thing, and I'll look at Urgra, and I'll say, well, I mean, to be quite honest, this was to be for our other friend, but I mean, hey, you're our new friend now, so I think it's only fitting that here, and I'll hand it to Urgra.
So it's actually a smaller container. So he'll hand the smaller one to you if you like to open it.
I'll open it up.
Okay. So you'll unwrap it, and you can see this meshing, and you probably can't tell what it is at first, but then Puck will come over and say this was a specially designed net that is expandable to be a full size, but can retract to this smaller pocket-sized like it has two like it can, like when thrown, it can deploy to a full size, but it is retractable into this really small, compact, palm size device.
To make it a little easier to carry there, Urgra.
Was this intended for Strongbraid, Finley?
Perhaps, yeah. But
Yeah.
well, there's that.
It's very practical.
I suppose it should be given to someone who could use it.
Right.
That's very nice. I didn't think you thought so fondly for Urgra, Finley.
It feels very, not fitting. Netting? Fitting? Netting.
Phoneting?
Netting. Phonetic.
Phonetic.
Ah!
Anyway.
Right. Well, I'm all about friendships and new beginnings, and Urgra, you've helped us along the way here so far. I mean, I know you're kind of getting coined to do it, but if you're good at something, you get paid to do it, I say. But no, I mean, I'm not gonna fucking use it. So if anything else, have a net.
And Puck will turn to you, Finley, and he will say, "Oh, and I forgot to tell you, the slide that you told me to build, I actually painted it the same colors as your garb, your cloak."
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
That's a mighty fine color scheme you got there. Then I'm honored that you made it some blues and some oranges, just like this. Then
just like that. Well.
Right.
My own version of it, of course.
Did you go for like a straight down shoot? Or
oh no. It's many yeah.
Like a loopity loop kind of thing all the way down.
Loopty loops all day, yeah.
All day, loopity loop all day. That's fantastic.
So, what do you think of your gifts?
I've used mine.
It's very thoughtful, and I'm honored. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And when you say it becomes animate, what exactly does that mean for the quill?
Well, inanimate means non-animated. Still, animated means motion.
Are we talking about like the animation of a leaf, or more like a rabbit?
You've seen an animated leaf?
A leaf is technically alive, isn't it?
Is the book gonna try and bite one of our faces off?
But a leaf doesn't move on its own.
I guess you'll have to find out.
Yeah, that would be a fun little experiment. All right,
You can just see him stroking his beard, and as he's kind of moving it, you see Butterbutt kind of get flustered and fly back into his little nested part in there. You didn't want him smoothing out his nest.
And I see these herbs, and I'm like, oh, are these? I was, to be quite honest, I was running low on my pipe here. So, are these for me?
Of course, but this is an extra strong batch, so be very careful, my dear friend.
Oh, fantastic!
Don't smoke and horse.
another disclaimer. That's my favorite. That's my favorite kind of puck gift. With the warning. Fantastic. And now that you're in town here and everything, they said that you were working on the big Ghibli-Doo thing in the middle of the town there. What's that all about?
That was a special order by a very rich merchant that he wanted us to construct. It seemed like he had some ties to the Revenant. I'm not sure.
What was his name?
Oh, I don't. That kind of details don't matter to me. My assistants that were building it have already taken the shipment to him.
Yeah, I'm already done. Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I work very fast. The best tinkerer in Candoria proper.
That's right. I agree with that tenfold. Is there anything cool here in your shop? The tinkerer's treasures here.
Actually, as a matter of fact, Finley was looking for a set of thieves' tools. If you happen to have a set of those lying around.
What were you wanting them to do?
Right. Well, then I'll pull out Urgra's lock-picking kit. Mm-hmm. I'll say, well, these are just, no offense, Urgra. I mean, you can have these back. But I did say that, perhaps if we could find something a little bit nicer for you. Do you have anything, maybe I don't know, anything special that lock-pick things could do?
I don't have any on hand, but I can see what I can come up with. Check back with me later, and I'm sure I can figure out something really good for you.
That's Puck's brain already got the gears turning. I like it.
And you'll see this like drastic emotion change just come over Puck's face, and just all the liveliness that's always there is just gone. And he's kind of staring off, and you see him take a seat in one of the folding out chairs, and he reaches into his satchel and pulls out some spices, and he packs his pipe, and he says, I have some news to relay to you guys, and it's not the good kind.
Oh, all right. Fair enough. Is there another chair?
Yeah, there's many of them that folded out when he pulled the switch out.
Oh, all right. I will mirror everything he's doing.
Okay.
I will sit down, and I will pull out my pipe cane. And
Okay.
I will not pack the new shit. I will pack
Okay.
stuff that I need.
Okay. And
I'll
you'll
just pass Finley some pipe tobacco.
There you go. So he'll start smoking on it and offer it to him if you guys want to take it, but it's his Super Saiyan shit. And but yeah, he just kind of pulls the pipe back, and I've never been good with bad news, but Drandolin passed away.
Ah! How did he pass?
I don't know all of the details, but I got word that he fell deathly ill again, and the effects of the fleece were only temporary, and he died.
Well, I'll be sure to pass that information to Davis before he promises miracle
And he'll
cures.
take a huge drag off his pipe and kind of just blow it off into the room and just kind of stare at the cloud. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, but I thought you guys should know.
That is definitely some grave news there for that Drangolin guy.
Does she know?
I don't know.
To be honest, we might not want to tell her until after we free her, because then she might just welcome the executioner's block.
Right, yeah. Wait till a better moment to maybe drop that on her. Good thinking there, Kurtz.
And you'll see a really sad look on Puck's face. He'll turn to you, set his pipe down. Execution?
I would hope not.
They're going to kill my dear Lilash?
Not if we have a say in this.
And you'll see his face just bury into his hands, and he just starts sobbing.
Well, hold on. Now,
Come over and pat him on the shoulder.
This merchant that you've helped, maybe he can help her. I don't know how the law works. Character references or something like that. Maybe get a voice and some of the court's ears. We'll see what we can do. We're gonna do whatever we can to stop it.
Please do. I beg you, do everything you can.
Fine.
Promise me, you'll do everything you can to save her. I couldn't bear the thought of her dying.
Well, Kurtz was kind of onto something there, Puck. I mean, your Revenant friend there, the thing you made the hibbly-bibbly in the middle of town for. I mean, I know you didn't want to necessarily give his name, but do you know if he comes from high places and high intentions and fat pockets?
I don't know, but if you think it will help, I will see what I can find out about him and get back to you.
Well, if you're interested in actually attending, the trial apparently is happening in the city hall at first light. We will be there ourselves. We're hoping to speak to Ivan before that and do what we can.
I actually have to go back to Brandalek here in a few hours, but I wish I could stay. I was just getting ready to leave, but please find me and tell me if she's okay and if you guys can save her.
It actually, from what I understand, you and Nanash are from the same town. You would actually be a very valuable witness as far as what happened there. Are you sure you can't stay if it means Lilash's life?
This unfortunately is not a choice I can make. I have to go back. And he'll stand up and he'll kind of tap out the rest of stuff in his pipe, and he'll grab it and start using it as a walking cane again. And I'm sorry to change such a joyous moment into a sorrowful one, but I'm afraid I must retire for the night and prepare for my departure.
Well, before you go, Puck,
Oh no.
we're going to promise to do all that we can to save our dear, sweet, beloved, adorable, cutest thing as button, Lilash. But before you depart, I mean, if shit comes down to brass taxes here and we have to try to bust her out of there, is there anything, and I look around the shop, is there anything that you could maybe help us in this endeavor to perhaps bust her out, or an escape, or something? You have to have something in here, right?
I'll leave instructions for my assistants to build that lock-picking set and have them leave it in the mailbox outside my shop.
All right. I mean, any little bit will help, because hopefully we can do this the diplomatic way, but in the end of the day here, hopefully it doesn't have to come to that. The other alternative.
And he'll turn and offer out a very half-assed hug. He's just overtaken by grief.
And I'll pull him in for a real one as I realize it's a half-assed one.
And
That's both cheeks.
Yep.
He will.
I'll almost lean in. You know what I mean? Like, get a lean.
Just a tease.
Just enough.
And he will. He'll pull you in, and he will whisper something in your ear, which I will tell you later. And then he will. Not like that. And then, or maybe, who knows? Tune in next week. No. And then he will bid you guys adieu and insist that he must retire.
Cool. All right. We all need some shut-eye. We've got an early morning.
Okay.
A lot to do.
So he will go off into the back, and unless there's anything you guys want to do, you can make your way back to Red Dragon Inn.
Bye, Puck. Bye, Butterbean. Bye, Butterball.
Butterbutt.
Butterbutt.
Sold! Yeah, sounds like an auctioneer.
Sold, Butterbutt.
Butterbutt! $30. Yeah, 30 gold pieces. Yeah, anyway. So, what do you guys want to do?
Go to bed.
Okay.
Go to bed.
All right, so you make your way back to the Red Dragon Inn. Are you guys going to stay in the smaller rooms, crash Davis's place?
Not sleeping in that cesspit.
Okay.
Small room.
Okay.
I want to see what the party animal room's up to.
Okay. So you guys find your appropriate rooms and you turn in for the night. You are now getting a long rest. Go ahead and regain all your bedazzling stuff.
Yay! Back to full spells.
You do not need to worry about Firewatch or Fireguard, whatever. No shifts. Everybody can just relax for the night, because you do have to wake up fairly early. What is the plan for when are you guys waking up? What do you guys want to do?
I guess at breakfast we would ask Devish where the fuck to try to find Ivan would be. He'd be the best lead to find him, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Go ahead, Devis.
Well, he would definitely be at his home this early in the morning.
Well, come on, Davis. Come on. Up and at him. We need to go.
Come on. Somebody's
You
gonna make
better
some
take a seat.
call.
Hold on. My alarm hasn't gone off yet.
Where's your alarm? Come on, up you go.
Hold on.
I booted in the door.
like,
Wake the fuck up!
And a few moments later, all these birds start singing this like beautiful little.
I like it.
And it sounds like this operatic music as it's slowly,
Wakey, eggs and bakey. Yeah.
It starts out of a really low volume and then increases in volume.
Oh yeah.
Crescendo, and I just like wake up like, yeah. Oh, what a beautiful morning! All right. Oh, good morning, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Please put on some pants.
I'm
Sorry.
hoping those were nighting birds because we were trying to leave before first light.
Bren, can I have my pants, please? Thank you.
Is this before first light, right? It's
Yes.
still dark outside? Okay, good. Those are night birds. Great, thanks. All right.
Yes.
Here you go. Pants for you. Go on.
Okay. So
All right, I'm all dressed, ready to go.
Okay.
All right.
You guys, I'm assuming threw together a quick breakfast. You had this planned.
I
You guys.
scored some kawa.
Yep. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Let's fucking go save Lila.
So it is before first light. You guys did get enough rest to fully rest, but it was really cutting the line. You woke up as late as you could with it still being early enough to have time to go try to find Ivan before the trial starts.
He should still be at his home this early in the morning, although he will want to be at the trial, so we should hurry.
Lead the way.
Okay, so Devis leads you guys out, and you make your way towards Ivan's manor, and you actually, Devis can see him he's walking in towards the rest of the town, so you don't actually have to make it all the way to his manor. You do, yeah.
Before we leave, I want to go up to Finley. Like, Finley, you still have those hidden blades?
Yep.
Give me one.
I think you had like 3.
Yeah, I know.
They're my blades, yeah. Okay.
Just really sad, but
I'm gonna borrow it in case they have to take it.
No.
When we go into the
they're going to a good home. Here you go. And I go, I'll tell them too.
The last one was on his dick.
Oh god.
Oh my God.
I gave him the dick. I definitely gave him the dick one. I definitely gave him the dick.
I don't give a fuck. I'll just like.
It'll still fit on your forearm if it's his dick, yeah. All right. So, Devis, you can see Ivan walking up in the distance. So, he is a half human, half dwarf guy who is just old as fuck, and he dresses in kind of dark attire. He's got a really big, poofy wolf skin on top of his cloak, and you can see he's old. You know, he doesn't walk with a cane or anything, but he's kind of slouched over and just going for, I don't know. You're not sure what, but you can see him coming in the distance. He's got really gray, scraggly, really thin hair. Humongous nose is hanging from his face.
I don't want to interrupt, but do we pass Puck's place on the way to go see Ivan?
It's the other direction.
Fuck. Okay, continue.
I will flag Ivan down.
Do you have a guard?
No.
The fuck?
Nope. Nope, just
Only
walk
the
him.
things you want are guarded, Dylan.
So you see him approach up, and he looks up, and his eyes turn big, and he holds out his arms, and he says, "Devis, my friend."
Ivan, my friend! And I'm gonna run up and hug his leg.
His leg. Oh yeah. So kind of. He's not super tall. He's between the height of a dwarf and a man. And
Okay, that is waist.
yeah. Okay. And he just scoops you up and kind of just presses your face into the big, billowy wolf skin, and says, "How are you, my dear friend? Good morning."
Oh, good morning to you. I am doing well. You're up bright and early this morning. How are you doing?
just going for my morning walk. We have the trial to attend to, and I have to do my duty and be there for that. But it's being overseen by Tavara, so I'm not gonna be I'm gonna be witnessing what's going on. Are you attending the meeting as well?
I can, and actually, I have a small group of people who know Lilash fairly well, and they might be good witnesses for this trial. Would you like to meet them?
Of course, and he'll take a really awkward, loud snort. So as you guys are conversing with him, he has this humongous nose, and you can kind of hear it just when he's breathing. It's very labored, loud, and occasionally he just kind of has like a snort noise that just comes out. It's not like gross, but it's very audible.
All right, Ivan, I present to you the Adventurers of the Fleece.
Oh, is that our name now?
To me, it is.
Welcome, friends. Any friend of Devis is a friend of mine, and he will extend a very sturdy handshake out.
It is an honor to finally meet the famous Ivan. I am Rin Enoran. It's a pleasure.
I am Ivan D. Dove. Welcome to Candoria proper.
Yes, thank you. I kick Kurtz in the side.
Fuck that, I'm already doing a military salute. I don't know how to act around royalty. I fought for them.
Oh, so you salute him?
Yeah.
And he will chuckle to himself, and please, that's totally fine. Just call me Ivan.
Of course, my lord.
Urgra will step forward, and she's back in her all-black attire, and she will actually pull down her scarf to show her orcish features, and just, Urgra.
And he will extend out a more gentle handshake and say, "Welcome, my dear."
With a strong handshake.
And he'll kind of like
around the wrist.
Yeah, and kind of like, but he was going out for like the holding the hand, whatever. But
like,
yeah, and you're like, boom, and he's kind of like, okay, it's this awkward moment of like, okay, that just happened, but welcome.
Right. Hey, I've heard a lot about you here, sir. My name is Finley Shenanigans. Pretty much everyone's favorite halfling bard in Candoria. And I'll do one of the weird, where you go for a handshake, but then I'm gonna pull it in, but then I'm gonna do the other thing, or do a little bump, see if he keeps up. But it's about as awkward as you imagine it's probably being.
And wait, you're the Finley Shenanigan?
Finally someone. Fucking A. You hear that, Kurtz? Part of my language. You hear that? Holy. Tell me.
Your tales of your balalalika skills have even reached me. One of these days, my dear friend, I would love for you to play me a song.
Oh my god.
Why don't you just stroke the shaft, Sean?
Yeah.
Cut balls.
And he'll turn to Devis and he'll kind of fluff up the coat and... I didn't know you knew the Finley Shenanigan, Devis.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah, and I get around.
Finley is an expert balalalika player.
I will, at his request, not sing a song, but I will just play a real quick 30-second ditty, ding 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 ding. Ivan.
And you'll see him tapping his foot, kind of just jamming out. Occasional snort will kind of come out of his massive, nasty old man nose.
I'll try to time out my balalalikas when he snorts. Be like.
Yeah, he'll get a genuine kick out of that.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. We got a thing going there. We'll work on that later. We have more pressing matters. Your Grace, but put a pin in that.
And when you guys call him Your Grace or whatever, he'll please just call me Ivan.
You're Ivan Grace. All right, that's weird. Okay, to each their own. And I'm gonna writing down some notes real quick.
And he'll start to walk off towards the city hall, but not he's not leaving you guys, but he starts walking.
And I do this to Kurtz. I'm like,
I'm honestly flabbergasted. just Kurtz is just like, I can't believe someone recognized him.
All right. And then we kind of catch up to the group there.
Yeah, he doesn't walk super fast, and there is a few random people who are kind of making their way towards City Hall as well, and all of them will either bow or salute or do some kind of very proper greeting, and everyone is just like supreme respect for this man. He is the ruler of Candoria proper, and he is solely responsible for uniting everybody in the midst of all the calamity. And a few years ago, he was appointed to be the leader. You guys would know this being here, so I'll kind of explain some stuff to you guys. So he was very reluctant to take up the position, and that's why the people felt that's why he should be the one. And so he was kind of strong-armed into the position, but he is an activist for the words that Alundra originally spoke, the words of unity and bringing people together, and the strength is when everyone comes together, and he still practices and worships the goddesses and wishes for their return, even though it's not necessarily mainstream beliefs anymore over the last 20 years. But he's the one that kind of brought everybody together and is responsible for all the defenses in Candoria for being increased and stuff like that.
Would Alundra have ever talked to Kurtz's family about him?
So, Ivan only came into the picture a few years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So he's making his way towards City Hall, but on the way, if there's anything you guys wish to talk about or just fast track, whatever you guys want. What do you want to do?
So how exactly is this trial set up? Will there be someone speaking for Lilash on her defense? Is it all up to her?
She is able to speak on her own behalf. I am not aware of any representation for her at the moment. I do know that the trial is going to be overseen by Tavara. There's no jury, there's no judge. It's going to be her stating the case and the reasons why she took her authority over this matter and address the people, and she will make a decision after the trial.
Seems like a lot's changed since Alundra left us.
So, Ivan is the ruler, but of Candoria. So all things about Candoria, he is the supreme authority on. But the head priestess in charge of the temple, if there's any temple matters, it supersedes local jurisdiction because it's a Candoria continent-wide thing. And if the head priestess enacts on a decision, it kind of supersedes things. So even though Ivan has the ultimate authority within the capital, there are limitations of what he can do when it has to do with divinity or temple matters.
Unless for separation of church and state. No one expects the Candorian Inquisition.
No one suspects.
So would it be possible for one of us to act as her representative?
She would need to have authorized legal representation.
Right. Well, we can certainly conjure that up real quick.
Okay, and you guys make your way towards the City Hall. And roll 20 is bugging out on me. Come on. Come back to me.
Not good at all, guys.
All right.
Roll 20, come back. Come on in back to...
And let's see, let's drop in. Devis, are you attending?
Yes.
Okay.
Roll 20, come back.
And Kayla, can you move Ivan around with the group just so I don't have to worry about it?
Yeah, if I can roll 20's bugging out for me too, so.
Okay.
If you want to give us control of it, we can do it for you.
Okay. And I'm just putting some name plates up real quick. Ivan. Edit. Ren, Finley, paragraph. I actually didn't even do him. And I guess that's enough. Okay, so you guys are approaching, and I'm gonna throw up the map here. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There it is. Bam. All right. So you guys are at the front doors of City Hall, and Ivan will begin to walk in. And
We will.
Yeah, follow after.
Okay. And there is a person manning the front counter, and he will kind of bow to Ivan and say, "Welcome, Ivan. The trial will begin shortly. We have a reserved spot for you." And he will escort Ivan forward. And as you guys come in, you can see that there are these elite guards posted everywhere. And it's not uncommon for temple guards to be here, but this many, it kind of gives the impression that like this is definitely temple business, not City Hall business going on.
I'm gonna turn to Finley and Ren. Doesn't this seem like overkill?
Right. That's the word that was kind of coming to my mind too. But best to be alert, be astute, as they say, and just keeping an eye out and an ear, both open, all four eyes, ears, four of them. Right? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm a little nervous. You can see he's like kind of like.
And
fuck.
He will escort Ivan to the front row on the left side, and then work his way back to the counter. And you guys can see that there are lots of people in these booths, and they appear to be nobles and probably people of higher rank or some kind of position. There are some commoners and stuff in here, but it's mostly people who are somebody, from what you can gather.
I'm a somebody now.
So in this very large room, there are more statues at the front door. Up front, there are some other booths, and there is a very large desk, and there are some other guards. But off in the distance, or by that front center desk, you can see a guard who is more elite than all of the other elite. All of his armor is just radiating gold and white paint. Very thick armor. This guy looks like a total fucking badass. And he's just standing up at that front desk that you guys can see up down there. And you guys can sit or stand or go wherever you want. What do you want to do?
Sit next to Ivan. Power move.
Okay.
Or as close as we can, yeah.
I was going to say as close as possible.
Okay.
Alright, the spot next to Ivan is mine, because I'm his friend.
You can sit in his lap.
I love it. Okay. And we can, Kurtz, if you want to be close, you can be the next
No, it's fine.
closest.
It's fine. Okay.
Okay. All right. So you guys are taking up the front 3 rows. There we go. And it is going to be a bit before the trial begins. Is there anything you guys want to do?
Oh, well, never mind.
Lilac is nowhere to be seen at the moment.
No, not at the moment, no.
So how would, and to Ivan, how would we go about allowing Finley to act as the representation? You mentioned some certain legal channels or something.
He points to the guard that has like the souped up armor, and he says, "You should probably talk to him, and I would hurry because the trial will begin here very soon."
Right. Fine. And can I just like walk up to this fucking guy?
You can do whatever you want. It's D&D.
Fair enough, DM.
I remember
yeah.
my first game.
Or our
Like,
weapons
I'm
taken away?
trying to picture in my mind, man. Okay, there's like bleachers and things over here. Can I just it's a courtroom.
Oh yeah, you can't see. I'm sorry. Yes. There is a kind of partitions that separate the booth you're at and the front part, but you can walk up to them. Yeah.
Right. Okay, that's what I want to do. That.
I'm sorry. I forgot you can't see. I'm sorry.
It's all right. That's cool, man. I remember my. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Yeah, I will go up and walk up to that guy and be like, "So, this is the big fella. This is the big guy."
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. So I am here as Lilash's legal counsel. What side is the prosecution and defense on? I believe this is the prosecution, right? So I just go sit over there, or how does this work?
Are you at your form or the other form?
Regular.
Shit.
Regular.
You're your regular form? Okay. He will request to see authorized paperwork.
I'll go ahead and hand the one that's already stamped.
Okay. And because it's stamped, he will see that, and he will. Excuse me, just for a moment, and you will see him walk off to the left, and there is some very heavily barricaded doors, and as he approaches the guards, the elite guards will open it up, and he will disappear behind those doors, and maybe about 10 minutes later, he will walk out of the doors, and he will announce in a very loud, booming voice, "All hail to Varia, head priestess of the temple." And he will walk forward and turn, and you guys will see a blonde, very slender woman with very gentle, very beautiful, soft looks. And she'll come through, and she's going to have this large scepter with her, and she has a robe on, and she's dressed in very similar white and gold outfit. And she will turn and say, "Everybody please be seated." And she will start to walk forward, and she will make her way to the front, and the that main guard will make his way over to Finley and instruct you to come sit on the representation bench over on the left side.
Sweet.
Okay.
I will sit down, act like very professional, putting my parchments in a line that have nothing on them.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay. And
just lining them up, then turning them again and lining them up, and taking the first one and putting it to the back and lining it up again, and putting a quill on top, picking my quill up and putting it back on top. Just doing that.
and Tavara will turn to the big guard and say, "Thank you, Caldevar. You may take your station." And he'll stand behind her, but he's very attentive because he's listening to everything, but his primary focus is on watching for anything shady going on from anybody. He's being very, very perspective. His name is Caldevar.
Quick question. Did they take our weapons?
No.
That's a terrible sign. That means that they don't give a fuck.
None of these elite guys.
Nope, everybody comes in with whatever they brought.
Shit. That means we ain't shit to them.
Rin, you did notice, however, that once you passed through the main doorways where those statues were, that magic seems to not work at all in this room.
This entire big circular room?
Yes.
Okay. I'll definitely pass that information to my allies to let them know. Like, magic's not gonna work in here.
There goes the ever-smoking bottle.
Well, I don't know if that'll work in here.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there goes that plan.
Yeah, do I know if magic items still work?
You can try using one.
That's not probably.
That's not a good idea.
I'm actually gonna try and put my spider slipper just like on like the chair of a desk and see if I can pull it with just the sole of my foot.
Okay. Yeah. No, nothing.
Okay. No, magic items are not working.
That's correct. Tavara will turn to everybody, and she says, "Temple guards, please secure the doors. We are going to begin the trial very soon." And she will turn to you, Finley, and are you the legal representation for the accused?
I will stand up and adjust my tie that I'm not wearing. Be like, that is correct, Your High Priestess Majesty. I'm here on the defendant's defense for Miss Lilash, and we are going to prove her innocence here today. You did not ask for opening arguments, so okay, and I will sit back down.
Well, the proceedings have not begun, but you will have your opportunity, an opportunity to state in the defense of the accused.
Fucking great.
So she will turn to Caldivar and say, you may begin the opening statements, and he will go over just kind of disclaimers, and he will say that anyone in the audience is not allowed to speak unless given the opportunity. Either side of the court, they must go in turn. You're not allowed to speak over each other. You are allowed to object, but you have to be given permission to proceed after saying that you object on something. He will explain that the seat that is up front, if anybody testifies, will have to sit in this seat for their entire testimony, and explains that there is a zone of truth that comes off of the chair, and goes over the disclaimers to explain how that works. Do all of you guys know how a zone of truth works?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a saving throw, though.
Yeah, there is.
So, with this chair, once you sit in it, it's kind of like the process of our court where you swear in the Bible, where you're like,
you give up your saving throw.
You give up your saving throw to sit in the chair, and that is how you are to give the testimony. So anything said in the chair has to be truth. You don't have to divulge any information. It doesn't compel you to say anything you don't want to say, but anything said has to be the truth.
Well,
or at least your perception of what the truth is. So if you were told a lie and you thought that was truth, you are allowed to say that. But if you cannot consciously say a mistruth. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. He'll explain that all doors are barred. No one is allowed to leave unless it's a life or death situation, and then that party can be escorted out and taken to an infirmary or whatever. But anybody outside of that is not allowed to leave once the proceedings have started. And is there any questions for me about how this is going to go before we start?
Guys, we're fucked.
I mean, I'm very curious to see where it's going to go.
Okay. And you'll have to wait a few minutes because we're going to go on our last break.
Oh my god.
And then we will start the proceedings. So
plans A through D just got shot down.
All right. We will be back in a few minutes, and we will find out what happens to Lilash.
Oh my god.
We'll see you guys in a few minutes. And you hear Finley just strunk and like stops mid chord and
I have more than 10 times your amount.
Shit. Yep. This is the epitome of handling an animal. You're free falling.
And she turns around and just like pulls the arrow and just like shoots it, and she goes to try to go right beneath one of the wings.
Okay.
One of the wings and try to glide it into the ground.
Yes.
Okay, so the manticore.
Hello there, everyone's favourite halfling bard, Finley Shenanigan here. Being the soulful adventurer that I am, and known for telling a tale or two, pull up a stool, grab a pint, as I tell you a story about my favourite hero, Me! In my years of travelling, I met people of all walks and cultures. Although the horsemen coming didn't affect me directly, I saw the toll they left behind. The destruction and devastation these villainous beings left in their wake sparked something within me. How was I, Finley Shenanigan, to become the greatest, most legendary bard that Candoria had ever seen if no one was around to behold my glory? And more importantly, where is Alundra? When will she be back? And what will she be wearing? Hopefully something revealing. Anywho, setting on my journey, I shared my glamour with those who had never witnessed such pure, unadulterated excellence before. My legacy was to replace their despair and unite the people for the war yet to come. In the end of the day, everyone can be a hero. Everyone has a little adventure inside of them. And if you don't, would you like one?
Salutations. I am Rin Anoran, historian of Candoria, renowned problem solver, an elf of esteemed conscience. When I became of age, I set out as a Rena and departed from my home of Othalos to the city of Egoras to study the arcane arts. With some difficulties, I was able to teach myself while working as a scribe in the library of Alashar. There, I produced a masterpiece of Candoria's history and its secrets, my manifesto, the true record of our world. However, even my aspirations dwindled when Alundra's guidance vanished, followed by the devastation from the horseman's wake. Despite all the wounds we have suffered, I shall never let our existence be forgotten, for I believe our best hope lies with our knowledge and story made eternal.
My name is Kurt Glaskin, and I have lost everything that I've loved in this world. My daughters, my wife, my friends, all of them dead to the horsemen. And now I have a chance to redeem myself, to protect my friends, to lead humanity into a new age of light and hope. Alundra abandoned us, the goddesses abandoned us, and left us with these monsters. And I want to take everything from them that they've taken from us. I live in a world of blood and hatred and violence, and so I will become that violence. I will be that hatred, and I will be exactly what we need, a sword against the darkness.
My name is Urgra Dropper, and I am a dependable ambassador. I was the only half-breed in my mother's tribe of orcs where the threat of being eaten constantly hung over my head. And yet, those were some of the happiest times of my life compared to my time with the Revenant. I was 12 when I first picked up a bow and started hunting, and I quickly found that people make the most interesting prey and often deserve an arrow in the head far more than most monsters. Magic and even the Three Sisters were always something weird and sinister to me. That is, until by chance I crossed paths with the High Priestess Alundra, who showed me that magic, like everything else, can be used for good or for evil. And that's what I'll keep on repeating to myself every time one of those stuck-up magical morons say something that makes me want to cut out their tongues.
The following program features adults using adult language. You have been warned. All right. Where is...
Power ballads.
We are back. I'm going to turn the map off because I don't think we're really going to need it. All right. So, welcome back to everybody.
Say that with Kurt's in the room.
Yeah, who knows? I'll pull back up if we need it.
I fly into a rage and just start chopping shit.
But
I take Ivan hostage.
We'll keep it up in the game for you guys, though, so you have something to look at.
Hey, while we're sitting there, I'm going to be working on a document.
Okay, that's fair.
In Kane's handwriting.
So,
just FYI,
Caldevar will approach you, Finley, and he will tell you to follow him, and he's going to lead you through the doors, the really heavy fortified ones that they came through. And he's going to bring you behind the doors before he says anything. And he says that you are being granted a few moments to counsel Lilash and speak with her before the trial begins. But it's just you and her. So he'll leave you there and he'll step out the door. But when you get in there, you'll see that there's no other way out. This is the only way in and out, and there are 2 guards posted on the other side. The walls are extremely fortified. I mean, this place is like super locked down, and as you look around, you see back in the corner is a rusted, nasty cage, and you see a little figure curled up into a ball in the corner of the cage, and she is unaware that it's you that's in the room.
All right, I'll when I see this little person in the corner.
Yeah, she's in the cage. Yeah.
Lilash, is that you?
Finley?
Lilash, and I'll run over to the cage.
I'm gonna turn around and put my face against the bar. Finley, what are you doing here?
Are you all right?
You're here.
How does she look? Is she dirty and stuff?
Shit.
Yeah. Nasty as fuck.
Kind of
Yeah.
smelly. Okay.
Yeah.
Totally smelly.
Same clothes you guys last saw her in.
Right. Does magic work in here?
Give it a try.
All right, just real quick. I'm gonna do a real quick and do presentation. See if I can clean her up real quick. Does it work?
Yes.
All right.
Mention door. Get her the fuck out.
Right. I'd say Lilash, Rin, and Kurtz. Can you believe it? Kurtz came. I mean, that doesn't matter. Listen. We're
I'm
here.
not surprised. Of course, Kurtz would show up to watch me die. I'm sure he'd get quite a pleasure in that.
You're not going to die today. Get that out of your head. We're here to get you out of here one way or another. And I'm going to whisper, even if it means busting you out, all right?
You're good. No, it won't work. You can't bust me out. There's no busting now.
We have a plan.
Look,
What's
I've
going
met
on?
you all. I know how well your plans usually go. The only one I've seen work was the bandit one, and that was miraculous.
Hashtag bandit life for life.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. We had a hashtag out of it.
It was a terrible plan. I was so
That's the point.
surprised.
Listen. We gotta focus, and I'll focus. It's okay. Listen. Right. We're gonna try to do this the diplomatic way. We're gonna try and present a good, solid case. Really quick. What's your last name?
I don't remember my last name.
I think I have it in your ledger, but I have it in my notes, and I cannot find it anywhere.
Strandlebrack.
Strandlebrack.
Yes, that is my last name.
Strandlebrack.
Soon to be Shenanigan.
Shenanigan. Yeah. I think,
By the way, your husband's dead.
If you could read his book, Shenanigan would be so much better. Anyway, right. So, what's all the charges that they're bringing against you here? Just for stealing all the shit, or what's happening?
No, they're charging me with high treason. I've been arrested for crimes against the capital itself with the transportation of dark magical items, and I did transport dark magical items, so they kind of have a solid case against me.
Can anyone look at my character sheet real quick and tell me what 7 spells I know at 4th level? Because I have 6 of the 7.
Okay, you have for your spells currently the Disguise Self, Healing Word, Bane, Dissonant Whispers, Phantasmal Force, Shatter, Suggestion.
Right.
Can he shatter the wall that leads outside?
I think Shatter is just mind stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to help here.
No, it will.
It's psychic damage.
Works. A non-magical object that isn't being worn or carried takes the damage of the spell in the area.
Connor, you legitimately grab popcorn? That's awesome. I thought you were just, I'm gonna grab popcorn. I didn't know you mean I'm actually grabbing popcorn.
It's like Law and Order in here.
Dun, dun dun.
Right.
We need to have scene change with the dun dun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's two. I fucked that up.
Right. All right. God, this is not a good idea. All right. Okay. How many guards are out front?
Oh, fuck.
In the front area you guys came in?
Yeah, the cage.
Oh, outside of the cage,
Oh.
there's two posted right outside the door.
Yo, this is a me idea, not a you idea.
Do I know Finley well enough to know that he has a certain I'm about to do something stupid twinkle in his
Oh,
eye?
that's definitely across my face right now. That's definitely.
I don't even think you need to insight check that. I think you would just, yeah.
No.
You know. Yeah.
Finley, whatever you're thinking, don't do it. Don't do it. It's bad enough that I'm already in here. You're going to get locked up too, and you probably just kill you outright if your plan is stupid enough, which based on the very excited look on your face it is.
The bigger the grin, the dumber the idea.
Right. Well, you know me so well already. All right. It's just I can't bear seeing you in here, and to be quite honest, I mean, with what you're stacked up against here, I don't really see any other way of getting you out of this thing. Did they say what the punishment was for this high treason? I can only imagine it's not the best thing possible.
Oh no, they're going to send me on a lovely vacation. They're going to kill me, Finley.
Well, that's not so bad. Oh, all right. Yeah, that's what I thought. Two
only
guards.
thing-
And just as a reminder, you still have one inspiration point from someone buying it with loyalty points.
The only
Yep.
thing I can think of is that if we can somehow convince her that Kane was involved, and I sort of got involved without fully knowing what was going on, which was my mistake. I should have asked more questions, but then he just sort of cornered me into it. He blackmailed me. That might be the only option we have. It might get me a reduced sentence. I'm not getting off free, but it might at least keep me from having to, die.
And
Right.
you hear a couple pounds on the door, and you hear 5 minutes, and I'm gonna start an actual timer for 5 minutes.
Oh God.
Okay. All right.
Connor's just eating this shit up in the corner, by the way.
I know.
He's just like, oh, this is great.
All right. If you want, I may have a bit of a plan here, but you're probably not going to like it.
Don't do it.
Do it. Right.
No,
All right. Here we are.
don't do it. Don't do it.
One more check before I do something
God.
really
You're
good.
good, man. You can do whatever you want. You got 4.5 minutes.
4.5. Perfect. All
This
right.
is where we die, guys.
Finley, you're far too clever to do something stupid now and die this way. This isn't what I want. You've already helped me enough. Just listen to me. Don't do what you're planning on doing.
All right. Okay.
Oh God.
Test out some of my rolls for
Hi,
my sword.
guys.
So
4 minutes.
I'm just saying, I just don't really like our chances in here, and I feel like I've lost you once, and I don't really want to lose you again, Lilash. If we go into that courtroom, the next thing that you're going to see is a noose or an axe or something terrible, and I can't bear witness to that. You must understand this, yes?
Well, then close your eyes, because I'm not going to watch something happen to you either. I'd rather it happen to me. I earned this. I deserve it. You've done nothing wrong. You've been nothing but helpful and genuinely kind.
I turn to the one guard, and I say, there's two of them, right?
They're outside the front door. They're not in there with you.
Right. I say, hey, guard number one. You, hello. And I'll go up to the door, and I'll bang on it.
Okay. You have 3 minutes.
Right. Hey, would you mind maybe just giving us a wee bit more time here? And I'm going to cast suggestion on him. Just for like a couple more minutes, maybe like 10, 15. Just come back when we're ready. Could you give us a bit more moments, please?
Can someone... well, hold on. You're trying to cast it on somebody who's in the circle, so it will not work.
Oh, it doesn't work in here? I thought you said magic works in here.
He's in the circle.
Oh, I can't see that shit.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you are outside the circle in this chamber.
God damn it.
You could cast it, but it won't work on him because he's inside of it.
All right.
2.5 minutes.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go back to the cage. Given the structural layout of this place, if I was to cast Shatter, can I deduce if it would work to bust a hole in this thing or not?
Oh my god.
This is D&D, so anything can happen, but high probability of no.
All right. Any kind of roll I can do? just for my own mental capacity of like, all right, so given the structural integrity, it's like a couple inches thick there. It's made of solid concrete, all right.
Are you talking to yourself while are
Yep.
you actually... Finley,
Yep.
don't.
Any kind of perception or anything like that is going to give you that it won't work feel, even if you crit on it, but that doesn't mean it couldn't. I mean, you could still try and see if you crit, and maybe I could, maybe, but just for the sake of time, she only have a minute and a half.
Finley, what happened to
I'm
doing
using
things
the whole 5 minutes.
You're good.
What happened to doing things the diplomatic way? That's what you said as soon as you came in here. What happened to that? I think that was probably a better plan than measuring how thick the walls are.
That was just to get you to calm down for a moment. Now that I've had a moment to think...
Well, now I'm panicking!
All right. Well, no matter what happens, I'm your defense attorney today, so nothing... You know what? Let's just have faith.
You're my defense attorney?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah.
The public pretender.
This is gonna be great. You talked me into it. It should be fine, especially since nothing's fucking working in here. So
is this a bad time to mention I have a 300 gold retainer fee?
She already owes me money, so.
Is it a bad time to talk about the billing? No. Okay, we'll wait till after. Got it. Okay.
You hear a bang on the door. 30 seconds.
No matter what happens, I'm glad I finally got to see you one last time.
You're muted. Oh, there you go.
No, I'm not. It's good to see you, Finley. And, if anything happens, just be sure to tell everyone how much I appreciate what they did for Drendlin, and, tell them all I said thank you.
Yeah. Fair enough. So I will go ahead and I will just...
And that's it. So
all right, here we are.
The door will open, and Caldevar will be standing there, and he will walk up to the cage. Or first, he will, point for you to go take your seat on the council chair.
All right, I'm gonna go back to working on my document that I'm working on.
Okay, and he will walk over and unlock the cage, and put Lilesh in many restraints, and he will walk her to the door, and he will announce while you're walking through the threshold, "Dead man walking." No, I'm kidding. That the accused is present and the proceedings may now begin, and he will escort you up to the bench, and you can sit next to Finley. You have not seated in the main chair. You're still sitting on that front bench next to him.
I'm gonna kind of turn around. Do I see everyone else?
Yep, you can see everyone in the front row behind you. Yep.
Gives them a little bit of a wave.
Yeah.
Hi guys.
So Tavara will announce that the official proceedings have now begun. Lilash stands accused of smuggling, distributing, and supplying contraband against the temple, the goddesses, and the state of Candoria. How do you plead?
Look at Finley.
I'm standing with my client. Not guilty, your high priest. Not guilty. Not
I'm
guilty.
just gonna start jabbing Finley.
What?
And
You're not guilty.
and motion to the chair.
What chair? What?
The truth chair.
The zone of truth chair.
Oh, do I need to sit on that first? Is that how this is working?
Oh my god. I'm going to die.
Yeah, so how the proceedings work is that outside of Tavara, anyone else has to sit in the chair to testify.
Oh, all right. Oh,
or to say anything,
all right.
yeah.
All right. Again, can't see any of this shit.
No, you're good, man. You're good.
So what? I have to tell Lilash to go sit in the chair, or what?
No, she's implying that as soon as she sits in the chair and they ask her, "Did you do these things?" she will have to say yes. So saying not guilty is maybe not the best way to start this proceeding.
We're gonna prove her innocence, okay? I have a plan.
So
Oh my God.
I already said not guilty. We're gonna get serious now.
You can, yeah, you weren't sitting in the chair at the time. I was confused with what you were saying. So we'll just chalk that up to table talk. So now you are approaching the chair. So you have to concede to the chair about the zone of truth. You have to forfeit your right to your saving throw, essentially.
Yeah, right.
So
I'm gonna sit in it, or she's gonna sit in it.
Well, it's up to you guys. You're her defense counsel, but she can sit there too. But they're asking how you against these initial charges.
We're pleading not guilty. We're going with it. Not guilty.
Okay.
Innocent, sir, madam.
Sir. Okay. You may now present the defense for the accused.
Right. I'll help Lilash sit down. Sit
in
down.
the chair?
Yeah, no, just sit down in this chair. Just sit down.
Wait, you're in the truth chair. There's only one person allowed in there at a time.
No. Wherever we have two tables, right? There's a defense and a prosecution, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is the witness stand.
Sit down.
I'll sit down.
Okay. So you're currently in the witness stand right now, Finley. So are you getting up from it to go talk to her?
I'm gonna walk around. I'm making my opening statements. I'm gonna walk around the courtroom and talk to the jury.
You have to sit in the zone of truth chair when addressing the court.
There's no jury, so.
I know that. I said I'm talking to the jury that there is none because I know it's just Tavara up there.
Right. I'm trying to explain that you are not allowed to make any official statements unless you're in the chair because they want the zone of truth to be over anything you say. Does that make sense?
They want truthful opening statements. I'm making opening statements, guys. But I will sit in the chair if that's what is necessary. It's fine.
That is what's necessary. Yes.
Cool. Great. Question.
7.
As I sit in the zone of truth chair, I would like to do enthralling performance for my opening statement.
Granted.
Cool. So I need a minute. Great. I'll sit in the zone of truth chair.
There's definitely no sense of urgency with this proceedings.
Fine. I'll say, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children and races of all ages and species, and I kind of look around the room. What all's in here? Just a whole bunch of random shit.
Lots of random races.
Right. Hi, Priestess Tavara. Scary guy over there. He's talking to that big guy. We're gathered here today for the stealer of nothing more than people's hearts and love and compassion, Lilac Strandlebrack. You know, she's accused of some pretty heinous things that, to no fault of her own, blindly and somewhat blackmailedly have been pushed into something that perhaps at the time she might not have understood, but for all intents and purposes doing it for the right reasons. And I'll set up a little bit. I'm like, you have to understand this little, sweet, adorable, cute as a button, gnomish woman husband was dying, ladies and gentlemen, and High Priestess Tavara of the jury. I'm sorry, turning around. Just trying to eat up a minute.
No, you're good.
Has anyone in this courtroom here never loved someone to such a degree that you would do pretty much anything for if it meant saving their lives? Would you lie? Would you cheat? I look over and point. Would you steal? Would you kill? What would you do? Now, were her actions legal? Maybe not. You know, perhaps. But I ask you, my priestess, were they justified? That's what you're here for today. That's the real question, isn't it? Look inside yourself as we go over these proceedings here today. Look inside your heart. Look inside your soul. Ladies and gentlemen, by the end of this day, this little lady here should be walking out. A free woman who's admitted to all of her mistakes. Yet, he or she who has cast mistakes will not be the first one to cast a stone at this woman. And I will get up out of the chair.
Pull out the Bible. There you go.
They don't know.
Is that the tenets of the sisters?
They don't know Bible shit. They don't know the scripture.
Those are some wise words. Whoever said that, yeah.
I have no idea if that was a minute, but I'm hoping that was pretty close.
Yeah, it was more than a minute.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
So, can somebody...
Make a saving throw, Finley.
Hey, this is D&D. There's no Bible in this shit. Okay. Perform for a minute. You can attempt to inspire wonder in your audience by singing, reciting a poem, dancing. At the end of the performance, choose a number of humanoids within 60 feet of you who watch and listen to all of it, up to a number equal to your charisma modifier. Each target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw against your spell DC or be charmed by you. While charmed in this way, the target idolizes you. It speaks glowing of you and anyone who talks to it. And it hinders anyone who opposes you, although it avoids violence, blah, blah, blah. It ends after an hour. Blah, 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 blah. The target says yada, yada, yada. So there you go. And if it succeeds, it has no idea that you tried to charm it. I rest my case, Your Honor.
Okay, so I guess the important one would be Tavara. I mean,
Yup.
all the audience, everybody's within range of this, but I mean, she's really the only one that matters.
Yeah, I got 4. So Tavara, the big scary guy. Is there like a prosecution guy, or is that going to be this big scary guy?
You don't know yet.
All right, so there's no one over here?
Yeah.
Because if there's a prosecution lawyer, I'm doing all the bitches too.
There is nobody in the chair.
I'll sit back down next to Lilash and I'll be like, so how did that go? That sounded pretty good, right?
Okay. The wisdom?
Yeah.
Yep.
What's the DC?
14. Is it 14 or 15?
14 or 15, somewhere.
14 this level.
Yeah, your charisma's 4, so yeah, 14.
So what happens if they pass? Do they know you did it?
Nothing.
No.
Nothing?
Nope, nothing.
Okay.
It typically says they don't.
Okay. She, her number was higher, so she was not enthralled.
All right, what about the scary guy over there and anyone else?
They don't really have a place to say anything, so, I mean, I'm not going to do 13 saving throws for people who aren't going to... I mean,
No, you get to do it on 4 people, so, like Tavara, lawyers, big scary guy, those are the only ones that are really...
Yeah, Tavara would be the only one that would really mean anything proceeding forward.
Right. Lilash, did you answer my question?
Yes, I thought that you did a wonderful job, Finley. I liked the part about the stone throwing. That was very nice.
Right. You just kind of came to me right at the end there, and I just kind of...
that before, but it's
just threw it right in there. Throw stones thing. I mean, that's kind of what I do. But yeah, anyway, let's see what happens here.
Do you have any witnesses to call to the stand?
Oh, there's no prosecution. There's no. Where's the people? Where are these people?
There's no prosecutor. You're facing Tavara.
Yeah, I think Tavara's the prosecution.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. Lilash, do you have any witnesses you want to call up? I'm going to save you for the end. You know what I mean? Like really give them a wallop right at the end there. But do you have any? Look around the room. Do we see Puck?
Puck is not here. He left for Brendelic.
Puck. Do we see...
It's just us, homie.
No. I guess we'll just go right down the line then. Do I call Kurtz up at any time during this? Probably not the best idea.
Zone of truth, so...
Yeah, it's going to just come right out. We'll start with Rin. I call Rin to the stand, and I point to my elvish friend.
Before the first witness is called to the bench, please state your relationship to the accused.
Rin?
Yeah.
I'm not accused.
No, state your relationship with the accused, just so it's known.
Yeah, but you're talking to Finley, right?
No, he's
No.
talking to you.
You're being called to the bench as a
Okay,
witness.
yeah, I thought you said before I was being called to the bench.
No, before you approach it, like just as you sit. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so I can talk now then.
Yes, you can. Yeah,
Oh, okay,
you can't speak unless addressed, and you've been addressed. Yeah.
Just snorting coffee lines as we're waiting.
A acquaintance of Lilash, previously assisting in her aid to heal her husband from the plague.
You may approach the bench as a witness.
I step forward. Finley, do you mind? Thank you.
Okay. You concede to the chair?
Yes, I'll concede to the chair.
Okay. Go ahead.
Do you concede to the chair?
I was going to say, I don't think I ever would have said conceding to a chair before.
No, I mean,
Whips
like, with the zone of truth. But yeah, go
Oh,
ahead.
no, yeah, just like I never thought I'd ever say those words.
Yeah. Okay.
Whips and chains and belts come up and shit.
You have the floor, sir.
All right. Rin,
Yes.
how are you today?
A bit of good, a bit of bad.
Okay, he's telling the truth. The chair's working. All right, here we are. Rin, would you say that we've known each other for a bit of time?
Yes.
Right. And in that time that you've come to know your favorite halfling bard here, Finley, would you say that I'm a pretty good judge of character?
Pretty good is a good description, yes.
Right. Pretty good, right. So when I say things like Lilash, in the time that you've known her, if I would say, from my perspective, that she was a good person, if you think that I'm a pretty good judge of character and I say that she's a good person, being that I'm judging for you, would you agree with that notion?
I'd absolutely agree that is your opinion, yes.
Yeah, she's a good person. All right. Do you think she would ever hurt someone intentionally to mean harm for no other reason but for selfish gains or again, from my perspective, because you know that I'm a good judge of character, and if I think that she wouldn't hurt anyone and I said that, you would believe me when I said that, right?
Convoluted as that is, yes, she would not harm.
Right. So, in the end of the day here, again, you agree that I'm a good judge of character of Lilash. She's a good person. She wouldn't hurt anyone intentionally. And if she was ever do anything bad, in quotes, it would have to be for a pretty substantial reason. Nothing like, needed some extra coin or like just for the thrill of it. If there was something on the other end of that spectrum, it would be for a pretty good reason, such as, I don't know, someone dying.
It's a very good example, yes.
More of a ends justify the means, even if it is, maybe doing things that aren't necessarily right in the realm of the thick of it.
Possibly, yes.
Right. And now that you're here and you've answered some of my questions, you've been an excellent witness here today. Is there anything that you'd like to say on Miss Lilash's behalf of, the time that you've known her, just some of her own things that you've noticed? This has all been from my perspective so far from the questions that I've asked you, but and you agreeing that I have a good perception of things, so you could agree to everything that I just said. So, but now from your own perspective, what could you tell me about our dear, sweet, adorable Lilash over there?
I've seen far worse people in the world than Lilash.
Kurt's ways.
She has not given me reason to believe her to be malicious. I have seen her behave emotionally, but honorably. And she is honest when it comes to her faults. From what I have seen of her, I would not deem her negligent, and she is certainly not evil.
It's finally put, Rin. Finally put. I have no further questions, Your Majesty. We'll go sit back down.
Okay. And Tavara will choose to not question the witness. So you are excused to sit back down.
Oh, well, thank you.
All right, all right.
Back to the chair I go.
Any further witnesses?
Right. I lean over to Lilash and be like, all right, this might be a bit of a fucking Hail Mary here, but if I called Kurtz to the stand and he can't lie, I know you two have had your odds and ends, but the truth will come out that he's an honorable man and an honorable person and is going to tell it like it is, and maybe a little bit of just straightforward could do us a lot of good. But this is your life that's in my hands, so what do you want to do?
Look on her screen.
I think that calling Kurtz to the stand will only ensure my death penalty.
Might as well give him the sword.
I don't know if you know this or not, but he doesn't particularly like me or think fondly of me in any way.
I'm here. Fuck you. I could be out killing someone for money right now.
All I'm saying is, Lilash, is that, I mean, he's here. He's sitting in a courtroom. If I get him up and ask him certain questions, again, the right ones, in a particular way, it might hold water coming from someone who's maybe not particularly fond of you, but could still speak the truth.
Well, yes, you can control your questions, but you can't control her questions. But in the end, you know Kurtz way better than I do, so if it's what you think is best, then
Well, I mean,
I trust you.
Do you trust me? All right.
I trust you.
All right. I call Kurtz Glaskin to the chair of conceding guiltiness.
Same thing. They will ask you to state your relationship to the accused.
I'll stand and say, I was hired by her for protection.
You may approach the bench.
I'll walk up.
You concede to the chair.
As I'm walking up, I'll just kind of look at Alundra and smile, like, and Celestial,
Alundra?
like, it's been not Alundra, Tavaria.
Okay.
And be like, it's been a long time, Tavaria. And then just sit down.
Okay. You may question the witness.
Kurtz Glaskin.
Bentley.
It's been a long time. Oh, you couldn't say that.
I see how this chair's working here. We've known each other for quite a bit of time, right?
Yeah.
Right. And I think it's, again, in the chair's best interest here that when it comes to your thoughts on subjects, pretty straightforward guy. Just shooting right from the hip. You get what you get. It's coming right out for you.
It's fair enough.
Fair enough. All right. Before I get to my questions, well, I'm going to leave you here with a more of an open-ended one. And then I'll get to some more specifics here. That woman over there, and I'm going to point to Lilash. In your honest opinion, you know,
Sorry, just kidding.
just straight from your inner being here. Just tell the court how you feel about that little gnome over there, and I will kind of back up.
I will put my head down into my hands.
Okay.
Kurtz will kind of just sit there for a minute. I pity her.
Pity, right. Would you mind explaining a little bit deeper into that meaning of pity?
I think I had to word this.
Yeah. You can be clever with your words, but do not lie.
Yeah. She reminds me of myself.
Okay. Kurtz Glaskin, by the way, everyone, is in case you haven't heard the name before, but you definitely well should have. I'll look around the court. This man here has proven his mettle on the field more times than I can count certain things I've done in my life. But we won't get into that. It's an honorable, straight man. So, again, a little bit more into what you mean by you see yourself in her.
She's done things she regrets, things people are going to frown upon and judge her for. She did them because she thought it was the right thing to do.
Right. I kind of leaned against one of the side benches, did what she thought was the right thing to do, ladies and gentlemen. Grand Priestess. Kurtz Glaskin, you've known the defendant here for a number of time, and myself being a witness to some of your conversations, I think it's safe to say that the two of you never necessarily saw eye to eye on everything, right?
That'd be true.
But, as in my opening arguments and statements, that one thing, no matter our differences when it comes to arguments or topics of conversation or ways to go about things, sometimes rules and laws can get a wee bit blurry when it comes to our loved ones and doing the right thing, even if it means doing the wrong things in the eyes of our peers. Do you agree to that?
To an extent, yes.
Give me a perception check, Kurtz.
Ew. I was not prepared to do rolls up here.
Be prepared for the Ice Age.
I was basking in the power there for a moment of holding Lilash's life in my hands.
14. All right. So, do you have your ever smoking bottle on you?
Yes.
Okay. So you have a connection with the bottle. You are aware of when it can work and when it can't. And also with your weapon of warning, you can kind of know when it's activated. While sitting in this chair, while going through these questionings, it dawns on you that your axe, your smoking bottle, while sitting in this chair, these things work.
I don't know what to do with this information.
You don't have to do anything. I'm just letting you know. You were able to perceive that.
I don't know what to do with this information.
Continue. You're good.
I'm
Continue.
glad the DM clarified it because I was already thinking that. So
I could see the gears turning. That it was more for you, Andrew.
Yeah. I'm going like.
So continue. You're good.
Any more questions?
No, so with our conversation here so far, Kurtz, with you yourself perhaps may have done things before where you might not have been necessarily proud of them at the time, or necessarily right to do in the ways of papers and laws and words. But I think there's probably some more of us, and I kind of look around the room, just like a blanket look. There's probably some of us in here that could probably proclaim to just about the same sitting in this chair, but do you feel that woman, pointing over Lilash, do you feel that woman deserves to have her life spent and ended for something that, in all honesty, there was no other choice. There's no other way to save a loved one.
You asked the wrong question.
I'm waiting. Playing with the necklaces. Leaning up against the rail.
The choices we make are always going to seem right to us. But it's not ourselves who judge us for our actions.
It's a fair point. But what if those actions, although perhaps maybe selfish in a bit of nature, were also forced upon us by someone who could do us and our loved ones harm? And I will walk over to the bench and I will grab my document that's forged in Kane's handwriting. And I say, I have evidence here, Exhibit A, your High Priestess, if I may approach the bench.
Yeah, you can approach with evidence, yeah.
I look over at the big fella. Could you maybe pass that?
Yeah, Caldebar steps forward and receives the document.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay.
Great. All right. So in the Kane handwriting, I say, your Grand Majesty, your Grand Priestess. This document here, if you take notice, is in the Mayor of Brandylac, one Kane. Perhaps you've heard this name before. He is an evil cultist leader who has blackmailed my defendant, my client, into doing deviant acts on his own behalf to save her husband's life. So, again, I say to you, the ends justify the means, but at the same time, if our actions are not controlled by our own, are they really our own actions? I look at Kurtz. You can agree to something like that. You've experienced that before. How did that make you feel? When your actions were not under your own control.
Violent.
Right. It didn't feel good. Your Majesty, my client has done nothing wrong. She has been blackmailed by a cultist mayor. You should lock him up and not my client. She is innocent of all charges, and all charges brought up against her should be brought up against the mayor of Brandylac. That's who you should be looking for. Kurt, you can be excused.
Before you are told that you can...
And my witness, and I'll sit down.
Okay. Caldevar will walk up and hand the documentation to Tabara, and she will look at it, and she will look at Kurtz. Do you know of this document?
I do not.
Are you familiar with Kane?
I am.
What is the relationship between Kane and the accused?
I believe him to be a leader of a cult of chaos. From what I've been told, he blackmailed the defendant into running dangerous magical items for him and distributing them as such. As a result, if she did that, her husband would not be harmed. When she did refuse to do that, this is when I was under her employ, her husband was kidnapped, and we presume that he had been killed unless we completed the order.
So you are admitting to working for the accused.
I admit to killing bandits and murderers. But running magical artifacts? No. I never received a red cent for that. In fact, I never got paid for guarding her.
So, for clarification, you have never handled any forbidden artifacts while under
Objection! Badgering the witness.
You have never handled any forbidden artifacts while under the employ of the accused.
Not that I know of.
I don't know if you can say that.
Well, I don't know what forbidden is. I didn't know there were magical. We didn't know what was in that case.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of how that goes. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm out of gaming for a moment.
No, yeah, I'm having to run it through too. I think you have to come up with a different wording for that.
I have handled cargo for the defendant, but nothing that ever seemed to pose a threat, magical or non-magical.
No further questions. You are excused. And you will be given the signal to go back to your chair.
While I'm still in the seat, I just kind of want to turn to her and say in Celestial, "You're a shadow of what Alundra was." And I just stand up and walk back to the bench.
You will give me.
Oh God.
Give me an insight check. Eight. Okay, never mind.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So
just talking shit over here, guys.
You take your seat back in the audience, and Tavara turns to Caldevar and she whispers to him, and he starts to rummage through some paperwork and then goes back to where he was standing. And she says, in light of the recent evidence, Mayor Kane is here in the audience. And
where the fuck is that guy at?
And I'm going to call him. He was over in the back corner. Okay. I'm going to call him to the stand. Yep, as our witness. So, so he will stand up from the back, one of the back rows in the back corner, and he will state that how he knows Lilash is that she was under his employ, and they've known each other, through living in the same area, and that she's worked under him, running a magic shop.
While this is going on, DM, I'm going to talk to my client.
Sure.
For a moment. I'm going to pull out 2 books while this is going on. Lilash.
Yes, Finley.
That's you. Yes, perfect.
That is me. I know that question.
Yes, you got that one right. You're not even in the chair. That's impressive. All right, really quick. This is kind of a curveball, but all right. Really quickly, first thing I'm going to pull out is her ledger from her magic shop.
Okay.
Where did you get that?
It's not important right now. What does this book mean? Just look at it. Just look at it. So what's in here? Like, what can I use any of this?
It's just my inventory for the shop.
Good or bad inventory?
It's just inventory, straightforward inventory. I didn't...
All right, fine. I put it back in the thing, and I pull out the other book that we got from the other Kane office in...
Yeah.
And it has like the scripts on the side, and it's like sealed and everything. And I'm looking, I'm like, do you recognize this? What the fuck is this book?
What the fuck is that book, DM?
Well, it was. So, if I'm not mistaken, the script on the spine, you should know or recognize.
It is that cipher that you couldn't understand.
I mean, it has something to do with the Cult of Chaos. Can I
well, that's kind of fucking important. Like, can we know how to open it? And like, or like, can we look at the lap, the slap, the seal, the thing, the strap?
Yeah, only Kane can open it.
Only Kane can open it.
Yeah.
Even in the fucking magic room?
Oh, there's no magic. Oh.
Can I open it or not?
You can. You can. So
what do I see?
you can't read any of the cipher, but Lilash, you can. You've worked for the Cult of Chaos, and in the books is dealings of trade deals and stuff of Kane being your benefactor and the one who is the one who gets the orders from the COC, and he delegated it to you. And so it's like the information, he kept records of it.
I'm gonna open the book
COC.
and be like, oh my god.
Cult of Chaos.
Turn the page. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Finley, this is exactly what we need. This is going to destroy Kane. This is perfect. I don't know how you got this, but this is beautiful. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I'm gonna like hug him as best I can with my manacles.
Yeah, like,
I'm so excited.
And Kane comes up to.
I'm gonna put the book away. Just put the book in my bag. Okay.
To the bench, and he takes a seat in a chair. And Tavara will turn to him and says, "The defense has accused you of working with her in these matters. How do you... were they accurate, I guess I would say?" And then Kane would take a minute and he'd kind of fluff up the feathers. And what does he say? He says, "Lilash and I have worked together for a long time. And a majority of the work that we have done has been magical items. But the ones that she runs through her shop are not dark artifacts." Okay, it's hard to do two sides.
Yeah, my favorite part of D&D. DMs talking to themselves.
Yeah, right? All right. Tavara will look at Kane and she will say, "Have you ever witnessed the accused transporting any forbidden dark magic artifacts?" And without hesitating, Kane will say, "More times than I can count."
Ooh.
Tavara will ask, "Why did you not report these acts of treason?" Let's see here. And Kane will say, fuck, what would he say? Because I can't lie.
He wants to bullshit
Backed himself into a corner.
You're good. You're good. You're doing a great job, Sean. I love it.
He will. Yeah, he will choose to not answer. Actually.
Okay.
While this is going on, I kind of want to just lean over to Urgra and Ran and be like, "You can use magic in that chair. You need to be careful in this step."
Yes, I already figured that's why the chair can still work.
Good point.
And Tavara will say, "I may have more questions for you later, but I will pass the questioning off to the accused side."
Right. Yes, the defendant. Thank you, Your Majesty. Yes, I would love to question Mr. Kane here. And I will
if
get
that
out from-
really is your real name.
Probably not.
Mr.
If that even
Kane.
is your name.
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk up. Ugh, just
Does
it's
anybody
a
take a break, or is everybody good to keep going?
Good.
We keep
Okay.
going.
Okay. Okay. I'd rather keep going too. Okay, go ahead.
I'll walk around the front of the courtroom and say, please, by all means, could you state your name for the court, please? Your full name.
Kane.
That's it. That's what your mother named you. That's the God-sparing name. All right, so that's fair. That's fine. I'm not here to pick on. I'm not here to make fun of. I'm not here for any other reason but to get down to the truth, Mr. Kane, if I can call you that. There's lots of evidence floating around out here in the universe, and sometimes the universe just takes a moment, takes a breath, focuses for a moment, and then just kind of zones it right in there for you. Just have a couple questions here for you. First and foremost, that woman right over there, and I point to Lilash. Have you ever blackmailed Lilash into doing something that she didn't want to do?
He will refuse to answer.
Right, I take it by refusing to answer, that's a yes, because by all means, if you didn't, you just say no now, wouldn't you? Fair enough.
Choosing to not answer is different. I refuse to self-incriminate myself. Like,
Right. Well, that's fine. I'm just saying, me personally, if I asked a question to and they didn't answer it, I would just take it as, you're just full of shit.
Mhm.
And let the record state that I did say full of shit in this court. So fine. Right. That's fine. If you don't want to answer, that's fine. I just have a couple more questions for you. So when you were blackmailing my defendant Lilash, did you know that was a wrong thing to do? Kidnapping someone's husband and forcibly making them export black magical artifacts, treason against the realm kind of thing. You didn't know that was a wrong thing to do, right? Fantastic. You don't have to answer that. That's fine. That's fine. And just out of sheer curiosity, there's been a word we've been floating around here now. Cult of chaos, that kind of thing. Just for the record, did you want to just come out now and say that you worked for them, or do you just not want to answer that one too? Yeah, fair enough. And I'm gonna start walking over back to my my desk there. I'm gonna pull out my book. Be like, Mr. Kane, just out of sheer curiosity here, do you recognize this book? And I'm gonna show it.
oh, fuck. Yes.
You can talk. That's fantastic. All right. So you do recognize it. What is this book? If you don't mind me asking another series of questions here now that we've gotten it out of the way, that you just don't feel like talking much. But do you know what this book is?
Yes.
Great. And I'm going to show them the writing on the side. Do you know anything like what that little scribbly do there is? Could you read that out loud, or do you know what that says? We'll pull out fake glasses that I don't have.
He will not say anything.
Right. I'm going to take it up to the high priestess. Can she read it? I don't know. Can you read that at all? She's a high priestess. I'm going to hope she's got some cool shit. High priestess, I'm going to be presenting this booklet into evidence here in just a moment, but I still need it for a wee little bit. Can you read that at all?
Where are you going with this? She'll ask.
Oh no, there's certainly a point, madam. But if you can't read it, that's fine. I'll read it for you, and I will start opening up pages, and I'll walk back over to the defendant and say, Kane, and I'll say, is this your handwriting in here?
He's gonna not answer again.
All right. Here, I'll take it over, and I'll see if.
Fuck.
Lash, can you read any of this?
He didn't come through.
I say,
Yes,
Lila.
I
can.
Okay,
there you go.
Okay. What pray tell, love? And if we have to get Mr. Kane out of the chair for a moment, that's fine, by the way, Your Majesty. But just for a moment, like, what could you tell me? I'm not very good with, like, books unless they have pictures in them. So if you could maybe just tell us, the court and the jury and the high priestess here, just some of the things that's in this book?
This, first of all, the language that it's written in is a text it's a text cipher used by the Cult of Chaos that only the members understand. I was taught it
Only
thoroughly.
the Cult of Chaos can understand. Maybe that's why you can read as your high priestess. Okay, fantastic. Continue. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was taught this language by Cain himself whenever he started employing me to go on sketchy missions.
And by Cain, you mean the man in the chair here who only has the one name of Cain.
Yes, that's the one.
Okay, fantastic. Okay.
So at this point, they're gonna have Kane take a seat on the prosecuting bench, so Lilash can come take.
Yeah, no, that's fine. No, do we want to scurry over? That's fine. Just don't let him go too far. That's all I'm saying.
No, he's not gonna be allowed to leave. He's just sitting on the prosecuting side.
Right. Come, love, and I'm gonna come around the side and just kind of give her my arm.
Okay.
Why, thank you, sir.
Like little.
Okay.
As Kane walks off, I just kind of want to look at him and like tap my sword and smile.
Yes. Okay. All right. So Lilash is in the seat. So, just for the sake of brevity here, love, now that we're, are you conceding to the chair? I'll do that for you. Are you conceding to the chair?
Of course, I would dare not concede to the chair.
A triple
right. And by the way, love, I knew you were going to say yes because you're a truthful person as it is. You don't need a chair to tell the truth, but that's fine. That's fine. So where were we here? Oh yeah, picture books. So who does this book belong to? You said it belongs to Cain here.
Yes, that is in his handwriting.
Right. And then you were talking a little bit about cults or something, a little fuzzy moving over from the chair to the chair here. So just one more time for the Grand Priestess here. What all does this thing say?
So it's basically a recording of his actions within the Cult of Chaos.
Black magic weapon dealings and all kinds of shady shit business, that kind of thing.
Yes, exactly.
Probably a real page turner. Had you had the cipher to read it and everything?
Oh, it's totally enthralling.
Oh, fantastic. Well, that's fantastic. And then I will go up and I would like to present the Cain Manifesto, Cult of Chaos, Deliverance of Guiltiness to the court, please.
Caldevar will walk forward and he will take it from you and it will enter into evidence.
Cool. All right. And while I have the lovely Lilash on the set here, before you go, love, and you've been doing a smashing job here, and you look so good, even, anyway, all chained up. Finley, come on, focus. All right, here we go.
Whoa.
That was all in my head. Lilash, my dear, before I take you off the chair here, I have to ask you, when you were doing these things, in your heart of hearts, could you tell the courts why, pray tell, anyone would steal or trade or dealings where knowing it might end up in a situation like this?
It was the only option I had to save my husband. Everything I did, though wrong in its actions, was good in its intentions. It was done out of love and desperation.
Right. And don't forget a wee little bit of blackmail in there. Just a wee little bit.
Oh, yes, of course. The blackmail was also... it sort of kept pushing me further.
Right.
Where I didn't want to go.
Right. And out of sheer curiosity, while you're sitting in this lovely seat, and I kind of take a look around, be like, I mean, do you really have... You don't have to answer that. That's fine.
What? No, what was your question?
Oh, no. My question here was just if you had any kind of feelings for Finley Shenanigan, that's all. But I'll ask you at a later time when you're free of this courtroom. And you can tell me freely on your own free will and not concede a chair. But is there anything else you'd like to tell the court while you have the floor here, my dear? And I'm going to step to the side.
I would like to say that I am sorry for my actions. I regret them, but once again, the reason I did them was a good reason, I believe. It was the only choice I had, and I sort of entered into this cult before fully understanding what it was. I was told of a way that I could help my husband if I, helped Cain deliver these artifacts, and so I did it, and then things just got shadier and darker from there. I would have tried to find an alternative route had I known what I was getting into at the very beginning, but once I had an understanding of what was going on, it was too late, and that's when the blackmailing began. So again, I would just like to express my deepest apologies for everything I have done. I love and admire the goddesses and everything they do to protect us and the state of Candoria. It's been my home for as long as I've lived. And I would never willingly and knowingly enter into something so treacherous.
So Tavara's been flipping through this book, and she closes it, sets it down on the desk, and is kind of giving you a look, Finley, like, are you done questioning the witness or the accused?
Yeah. So when she comes down off of there, do I go back and sit down for my closing statements?
I mean, you can make them at any time, but she's asking.
Oh, I'm
if she's...
the witness. I'm done with the witness, Your Honor. Yes.
Okay. Tavara will turn to you, and she will say, "We arrested you based on the reports that came from Cain. He's the one who reported to the temple of you trafficking the forbidden artifacts. In lieu of this recent evidence, I have some questions to ask you. Were you of your own free will, or were you under the control of Cain when dealing with these artifacts?"
At the beginning, before I had an understanding of what the artifacts were and how dark they were and what they might be used for, I did willingly. But once I found out of their nature, I tried to back out, and that's when Cain threatened to turn me in for the actions I had already committed.
Why did you not report once you were aware of what they were?
I knew that if I reported, he's the mayor of a town, and I'm just a shopkeeper.
Do you not believe that the temple is above a mayor?
I do, of course, yes, but another side of it was that if he caught wind of my reporting, he would kill my husband, which was exactly the thing that I was trying to prevent. So along the way, I wanted to save my husband and guarantee his safety and his life first, and then once that happened, I would then turn myself in and report all the findings of Cain, and I would hopefully have more information on the cult itself that would be useful. I'm afraid I didn't get nearly as far into their inner workings as I would have hoped, for the sake of information to provide, but that was my thought process. I was going to gather as much as I could and present the most damning case possible.
The goddesses are of justice, and with the presented evidence, I think it's undeniable that you did commit crimes against, for what you're accused of. But the goddesses are also of mercy. So I'm going to put the court in a brief recess while I go back to my private chamber and pray about this. And Caldevar will stand up and he'll tell everybody to rise. And he will announce that the trial will be in a brief recess and nobody's allowed to leave. And the sides can't talk to each other, but you and Lilash can talk. And Tavara will step out, and she'll be gone for quite a while. So you guys can talk if you need to, unless you don't need to.
Can we talk to them?
You guys can't talk to them, no.
Can I write something on a piece of paper and hand it to Finley?
You can sure try.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll pull out one of my spare parchments and I'll start writing down in there saying, if worse comes to worse, maybe perhaps offer a plea bargain, a show of redemption that she is willing to translate the Cult of Chaos text as a show of good faith to apprehend those who truly are treasonous. Pull it. Slide it over to Finley with a...
You could probably just hold it up and he'd turn and read it if you don't want to worry about, like, sneaking it.
Okay, well.
Okay. You got that, Finley?
Right.
Is there anything else you guys want to do while on this break? I mean, it's going to be a long break, but I don't want us to have to take a long,
I just want to look at Finley, do this, and then point to Kane. Do that.
What are you doing? I can't see what you're pointing.
Oh, you're doing like the
It's like, keep an eye on him.
Oh, these things?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's it. Yeah.
Keep watching
Love
Kane.
Love
And
it.
just mouth magic works in the chair.
Okay. Anything else you want to do?
Is this a short rest?
What's that?
Is
Is it a short rest?
Well, we're not actually going to take a... I mean, yeah, if you need to for some reason, but...
I'm just saying my mantle thing comes back on a short
Oh,
rest.
sure. Yeah, you can have that back. Yeah, this will be quite a while.
My following performance.
So she will come back and he'll call everybody to stand up and whatever. Fast forward. So she comes back and she says, after meditating and taking time in prayer and consulting the goddesses, as High Priestess, I am torn between the division between justice and mercy. We will allow any final statements before the judgment is cast.
All right. I will stand up. Say, Your Majesty, Your Greatness, Your Honor, Laura. Can I get up?
Yeah, yeah.
Just trying to make sure I don't get shot or something. while
No,
I'm fucking
she offered the closing statement to you.
trying to stand up. All right.
And roll initiative. No, I'm just kidding.
Yep.
Kurtz is ready, has a prepared action.
This whole time, just prepared. I'll just say, everyone, just want everyone to look inside yourself one more time, and Your Majesty, Grand Priestess Tavara, but glad you took the time to pray on the affairs here today. And I think when it comes to justice, and I look over towards Kane direction, I think the sword has been pointed in the correct direction and not at my client and where it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
And in the form of mercy, Grand Priestess, I couldn't agree more, especially if there were some things that my client Lilash could perhaps do to make amends, which is one of the forms of forgiveness. It's one thing to say you're sorry for what you did, but it's another thing to come to terms and
Okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
give back
Some penance
to
or something. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, her community and her country of Candoria.
Okay.
Perhaps starting with that book, if you need help getting more of the inner workings of this cult that is casting its shadow across our countrysides. And maybe some community service. I look over at Lilash like, I don't know if you can do that. Community service, here right here in Candoria proper, or back in her town of Brandylac, and of course under watchful eye. But I think with the new evidence presented here today, my client should be, at the very least, on the mercy of the courts and the goddesses. Lesser stricken of a punishment, certainly not one of treason or of death, but one of love and compassion. And I will pull out my Balalika, and I will start singing the Lilash song.
Aww.
Okay. So while
It's the
you're
first time Lilash has actually heard it.
while you're playing your
it would
song,
be.
Tavara is going to turn and she's going to be whispering back and forth with Caldivar for a good minute or two.
Is there a new line in the Lilash song that tells her husband's dead?
Nope.
All
Nope.
right. That's
Just
all
the
here.
regular
And
version.
Tavara will come back.
One that says, I wish your husband's dead.
Oh.
No. The original version was, we sat by the fireside. Wait, no. Wait, hold on. Well, we sat all night by the fireside. I let you use my tent, slept alone that night. I said, Lilash.
Lilash. Okay.
And then at the end of the song, I'll just say, she's not just a client to me, Your Honor, but she's a near and dear, true friend. And I ask that you understand how much she means to a lot of us. I'll go sit back down.
After conversing with Caldivar, I believe I have come to a revelation of how the goddesses' justice and mercy can both be found today.
The world would be a darker place without her in it. Okay, go.
The justice can be shifted to Cain as being your benefactor and manipulating you in this situation, but only if the accused is willing to show her absolute devotion to the goddess's mercy by pledging her life as a priestess from henceforth.
I look over at Lila's like, that's a pretty good deal. We should probably take that. What do you think?
Yes.
Please approach the bench.
I'll run over to the chair and sit down.
Do you swear to live out the remainder of your days in service to the goddesses by being a priestess to the temple and following all protocol and rules of those appointed above you?
Yes.
Do you agree to doing everything in your power to finding out the truth and conviction of those involved in the crimes that you were brought here for?
Yes.
And then she will turn and she'll slam her staff into the ground and she'll say, Caldivar, then I order you to arrest Cain in the name of the High Temple and the High Priestess, myself, Tavara. And the guards will just rush and just tackle his ass to the ground, and you'll see feathers just poof, kind of fluff up and kind of land on the ground, and they'll drag him away and throw chains on him.
I volunteer as executioner.
He didn't even need the chair of truth for that. That was just.
We will have a trial for Cain for the matters scheduled in the future. And then she will give a signal, and some more guards from the previous room will come in, and they will unchain Lilash, but they will still keep her in custody. And she will say, please escort her to the temple for instruction and initiation. And they will give you just 1 minute to talk to your counsel before they take you away.
Ooh.
as soon as they unlock my wrist, I'm gonna hug Finley super hard, and then just...
Are you leaning? Are you leaning or just straight up?
No, like I'm like tackle hug, like.
Okay.
And then I will run and hug Rin, and then I'll kind of look at Kurtz and.
Kurtz just kind of looks at her sadly because he knows things that she doesn't know and nods.
And then I'll hug him, and I will just thank you, all of you, for everything. I'm so excited. I guess. Well, I don't have too long, but I'm gonna look at the guards. Could I have a few extra minutes? It's just this is probably the last time I'll be able to see any of my friends, and I haven't seen them in quite some time. We have a little bit of catching up to do.
They will turn to Tavara, and she will nod, and she will turn to Kaldovar and say something, and he's going to announce that the High Priestess is leaving the chambers, and for everybody to rise. Everyone rises. She goes off to the back, and she disappears from the court, and floor's all yours.
Thank you! I just yell it out. Thank you!
Floor's yours.
So good to see all of you again. Oh my goodness. And Devis, you're here too. It's just wonderful. Where is Strongbraid? I thought he would be here.
I'm just gonna start smoking my pipe. Because I'm gonna fuck this up.
I'm not even in the chair, and I'm gonna tell her the truth. Okay.
Didn't make it. And he wasn't the only one we lost. Finley?
You're not coming through, Kayla.
Finley's fine. He's right here. You didn't lose Finley. I know you didn't lose.
No, but Finley, would you?
Or do you want me to? She already hates me.
Finley is emotionally distraught right now. I got some things going on.
That's fair.
Urgra is going to step forward.
Yes.
No,
He is going to drop to one knee and take Lilash's hands.
Who are you?
I am the person who guided your friends here in time for your trial.
Well, thank you. I owe you gratitude as well. I don't know you, but if you were able to put up with them, then you're a very strong person. The fact you were able to get most of them here without any of them dying is truly amazing. So thank you so much.
What your friends are struggling to tell you is that your husband fell ill after you last saw him, and he did not recover.
No, but he had the fleece. It worked. I saw it work.
Unfortunately, the effects were only temporary.
I told you they would. I told you they would. And last, you didn't keep the fleece with him. You took it away from him after I specifically told you not to.
I had to return it.
You couldn't take him with you. You couldn't have waited one more day and taken him with you to the shroud. We discussed that. That was an option.
I'm gonna hug Lilac. Oh my god.
No, Finley, don't touch me. I'm gonna push him away.
Oh shit.
I'll just kind of walk up and kind of sit down in front of her. The fleece was never yours, Lalash.
I'm entirely sure what its effects would be.
I told you they would relapse. I told you this would happen if you took it away from him. And you still did. If you wanted to hurt me, you should have just let me die because this is much worse. I can't carry on without him. I can't do it. I won't.
I'll just kind of put a hand on her shoulder like, you can. Trust me, you can. It's not going to be easy. Any day of it's not going to be easy, and you'll wake up every morning wishing it wasn't that. But you'll live, and you'll endure a day, and the next day, and the next day. It's just life, Lilash.
It's my life, and you took it away from me.
No. You made your choices, Lilash.
Do not pin this on me. Don't you dare. After everything I did to save him, I prolonged his suffering. He could have died years ago. He could have died at peace, but instead he died alone, and he died afraid and in pain, and I will live with that for the rest of my life, and it's because you couldn't listen to me. Not for 1 second you hated me that much, Kurt.
Look past your greed for one moment.
You can't tell me to look past my grief. I am in it right now. You must allow me to feel my pain if nothing else.
Your choices led you to this path.
Don't pin this on me, Kurtz.
Your choices were yours to make. You made them. You can either spend the rest of your days drowning in your grief, like me, or you can look past them, accept what you've done, and try to move on with your life. You did everything you could, more than most people will, to save your husband's life. And he had one more day than he would have had. So take that and hold it close, and don't forget about it. Otherwise, you're just disgusting.
A day I didn't even get to spend with him. A day that he spent thinking everything was going to be fine, and then the next day, what, he died alone?
These men have suffered, for we've lost people for you.
He did not die alone, Lilash. Puck was there.
Him?
Puck was the one. Puck was the one who told us.
Should have been there. Should have.
He felt like himself one last time. You gifted him a day of remembering what it was like to feel normal, what it was to be who he was. He was no longer a shell. You restored him. At least you gave him something. When all hope was lost, you gave him something. We all do die eventually, but he didn't die in misery. And he knew, and he did request us to return to you as soon as we could. He told us to hurry and make haste to make sure that you would not be persecuted for the crimes that you weren't responsible for. Our actions were to try and save you first, and he requested us to do that to you. And we asked amongst ourselves what was best, and we agreed that we would do our best to save you, while he would try his best to make his way to Candoria with Puck. So when last we left him, he was in good spirits.
Why are you so afraid of death? Was he a bad person? Are you afraid he went somewhere not good?
I am now much less afraid of my own death than I ever was. But his death was something I never wanted to experience.
That's understandable. But having seen victims of the plague before, can you not see that he's no longer suffering?
I can, yes.
This is going to be a difficult day for you. A difficult year. A difficult decade. But you did exist before you met him. And was so far off, and almost impossible now. Your heart is still there, and it can still find connections with friends, with those who still exist on this plane with you. If you let it, then even though that part which belongs to him is gone, your heart can heal if you just let it. But today, and for as long as you need, remember your husband. Remember him and the good times.
And the guards will place their hands on your shoulder and say it's time to take you into processing.
Before they take her away, I just kind of want to put another hand on her head and just kind of look down at her like, don't end up like me.
Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
I'll just put a hand on her head and
Not you. Not you.
out her.
Yeah, Kayla's not coming through.
Yeah. Can
There
you
we
guys?
go.
There we go.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
yes, yes.
Okay. I'll just kind of jerk my head out from under his hand. I could never end up like you guys. Not after loving someone like I loved Ren.
Curse will just laugh like a genuine like. It's easier than you think. It's much easier than you think. You know, I didn't lie when I said I pitied you. Because you have all the potential in this world to turn out like me. And well, already too much of me in this world already.
And the guards will begin to pull you away. You're not coming through again.
Again.
I will go
There we go.
willingly.
Yes. Okay. All right. So they will escort you out, and once she's gone, like the guards still keep everything locked up, until there's plenty of time for her to be gone, so nobody can come interfere. After that time has elapsed, the remaining temple guards will unlock the doors, and Caldivar will announce that, or he'll thank everybody for being here for the trial, and he will say that everyone is free to leave and go about their business, and then he will also retire. And slowly, all the people who are in the courtroom will kind of trickle. Some people will talk, gossip, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But people will start funneling out, and all of you guys are, for the most part, alone in there, minus, the people who are still, standing around talking about the events, but none of them are consequential. All the official people have left. What do you want to do?
Thank you,
Well-
Edgar. You didn't know her at all, but thank you for telling her.
It's something I've heard a few times before. Seemed to fit.
Perhaps if you're not too terribly busy, you might consider staying on with us for a time. I feel like you have a bit more to you that you're not as willing to share, but maybe if you get to know us a bit better, you'll be more open.
Well, after that speech about opening your heart, it'd be rather hypocritical of me. I'd be interested in traveling along with you for a time, seeing how it worked out. Kurtz, Finley, would that be alright with you two?
Yeah, I've got
Finley
nothing else going on.
Finley just nods.
I'll kind of just pick up Finley from my shirt. Come on, buddy, let's go get you drunk.
When Kurtz picks me up and puts me on his shoulder, I kind of whisper to him and I say, She didn't even say goodbye to me.
Oh, well. That kind of loss is hard, Finley. She'll come around.
It's not like it's impossible. You could still see her. I've been in the temple before, and I've seen many of the people walking about. You could pass the chance.
Yeah. I knew Tabara when she was yay high. Still see her. Now look at her, all powerful and strutty.
Did you say, strutty? They said slutty.
Same thing.
The opposite of that, yeah. They can't be with anyone. Yeah. Okay.
She, I lost her once when the guards came for her. And then after all this, I felt like I lost her again, but at least she got to live. And now pushing me away and not even saying goodbye or even looking in my direction as they take her away. I got to be quite honest with you, lads. He's like kind of tearing up a little bit. Got to be quite honest. I really don't even know if I want to see her again myself.
I don't want to see her right now, Finley. Right now, she is in a lot of pain. And the way that it seemed that she was dealing with it was causing as many people pain as she could to share what she is feeling in any way she could.
So where is the closest bar here?
Red Dragon Inn.
And at that moment, Ivan has been sitting quiet in his seat the whole time, and he stands up. He kind of snorts a little bit, and then clears his throat. And he says, "All of you come here." And he kind of motions for you guys to kind of, circle around him a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. He says, "I have never seen a group of friends who fought so hard to help somebody that they loved. And I will always remember this day, and I will always remember all of you. And you have my utmost trust. And I could only hope that one day, maybe, you guys could consider me a friend like that, because I know that you would have my back no matter what."
Can I give a short bow? Like, well, sir, that's certainly an honor. And just so you're aware, if you ever have need of our various services, we're at your disposal.
I don't know you, but I do know that Candoria needs heroes like you guys. And I just may call upon you. Can I count on you when that day comes?
Absolutely.
And he'll look at the next person.
Oi.
More than willing to help.
Well, at least I know what this plane's like. Better than making a gamble with the next one.
When the festival starts, I'm going to be holding a special event. And we are summoning all adventurers and all heroes to gather to take a pledge of fealty to myself, to Candoria, but most importantly, to stop the chaos that follows the horsemen. And if you are willing to take that pledge during the festival, we will forever be in your debt. So think about that. And I'm glad to have met you all. And he will get up and he will leave.
Well, everyone, a bit of a somber ending there, but we did save her life, and we did succeed in our mission, so drinks to celebrate? Or mourn, or to get drunk, just for the sake of it?
I think that's appropriate.
If there's one thing I think we can all appreciate is there's no time like the present.
It's a gift. That's why they call it the present.
The present.
All right.
Hallmark shit.
Yeah, right.
No, we're gonna go get shit faced, or at least I know Finley is.
That is more than fair enough. We will.
Whoever cares to join him for that.
We will end not only this session, but we will end all of session 0 So good job, guys.
Oh.
Well played, every single one of you. I want to take a quick moment to thank all of you guys for sticking in the long haul. I know this has been the world's longest session 0, but we have finally made it, and I hope you guys are having a good time. We have 2 weeks off to kind of tie up last minute stuff and do holidays with the family. January 8th is our hard launch, where we're going to start the official first episode of the campaign. I am so stoked. You guys have been doing an amazing job. I just want to thank you for helping me learn how to figure stuff out and helping each other.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Sean. Thank you and the devs, man. This is already a wild ride. We didn't even start yet.
So it starts
Kayla's
now.
Brilliant acting there.
That was fantastic. We normally do Q&A, but we're already at the 5-hour mark, so I think we're gonna skip it this time. That's incredible. Everybody who is watching the series, we thank you for you being part of the HotA family and coming along this journey with us. It is just getting started. One thing I can promise you, if you're watching this, is that it's only gonna get better. The story hasn't even started. This has all just been practice stuff, and it's already been immensely fun for me. So thank you for all of you for sticking with us, and we will see you on January 8th for the hard launch of our campaign. Let your friends and family know. Please, everyone, tune in and check us out. 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, January 8th, and we want to get as many people live for the hard launch as possible. So we will see you guys in a few weeks. Thanks a lot.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Bye.
Have a good night. Happy holidays.
Wait, one.